While this stuff is cooking, I think, guys, that I'm gonna just like get into my PJs, but I wanted to like sit down and do it, like film a video, and ironically, it's all around relationships. We're in our hot girl summer era PJs right now, but I wanted to jump on. I say, oh my god, I just did a Reels layover. Oh, fuck. Okay. I wanted to talk to you guys just about like a common theme I'm seeing, and the whole thing with relationships, guys. I'm starting to realize that I think Spirit is guiding me to be a relationship coach, not just energy work, but really helping people step into their confidence, their power, their worthiness, to actually not just get what they want in life, because honestly, that's what manifestation is to go after what you actually want in life and just using tactics to overcome your mind, but actually realizing your self-worth and the energetics behind relationships and attracting your ideal relationship and getting the fuck out of toxic relationships and avoiding that confusion that comes with being in a toxic relationship. Because guys, let me freaking tell you, I spent years, and not just in like one relationship where I was confused, but pretty much all of my relationships I've ever had, and I haven't had that many, don't get me wrong, haven't had that many, like serious. I always sacrificed myself to stay in it because I thought I should. I always sacrificed myself to make it work because I thought maybe I was the problem. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm not part of it. There is so much confusion, or so much like putting our worth into somebody else rather than like choosing our fucking self. I think it's part of society, especially being a woman. You're trying your best to make it work and doing literally every effing thing you can do to make the damn thing work, or to be chosen. Let's say that too. It's like making it work, and then another common theme of being chosen over somebody else, being chosen over an addiction, being chosen over a job, getting the attention or the depthness of it that you actually desire. I don't like to use the word need, because we shouldn't need anything from our partner. We should just like be enhanced by our partner, right? And that is where a lot of people go wrong, and that's where I went wrong. And I really want to help people understand, when we look to our partners to complete us, when we have this desire for them, this like unshakable like magnetic pull towards them, that is an energy within them that you are missing within you, that you are not providing for yourself. This is why you are so wildly attracted to them, and why like they call trauma bonds, as where you mistake the attraction for love, when essentially it's providing you, yes, a sense of completeness, but it's not true love because it's not coming from you, right? And sometimes what feels like love is not truly love. It's our nervous system being familiar with what feels like home. For example, if you grew up with like a controlling parent per se, you're gonna find that what love means to you is control. When somebody is controlling to you, you're subconsciously associating that quality with love. So you will be attracted to controlling partners subconsciously or consciously, and you will think it's love. That can be very toxic because you're associating controlling with love, and you might not want controlling partners and not understand why you're going after that. It's because your body and your nervous system is used to it. You have to train your body to be in alignment with your mind, with who it is you actually desire in your life, who the partner you desire to be. So you have to become aware and conscious of what it is you actually want out of a partner. And the only way that you can really know that is to know what you don't want, and through experience. And maybe you're good enough at visualization and embodying the visualization and the feeling to then know what you want, right? you could do it that way too. That's what imagination's for.
Imagination.
And one of the greatest gifts that Spirit has given us is the vision to see it before it manifests physically. But I was talking to the person today that I had the session with, and we were going over just like, what do you value in a relationship? You have got to get clear what it is that you want out of a partner, and actually write down words that are traits that you want from a partner. So for example, when I did this in therapy, my top like 5 qualities that I desire out of a partner are like, pull up my therapist here. Ooh, we got some good questions. My core values, my top 5. We tied it into my zodiac sign, which is Virgo. Makes complete sense why I find this attractive. So my core values, meaning my partner has to have these values, otherwise it won't be a match. It's like these are needs that I have to have in a relationship. From this list she gave me, I got ambition, growth / wisdom / evolve, so all meaning the same thing really, the same vibration, security, so like safety, spiritual, and beauty. And what I mean by beauty, guys, it's not physical attractiveness. The physical attractiveness to me, it's not that important, because you can be a high vibration in other ways that I will find you attractive. Beauty meaning like you appreciate beautiful things in life. You appreciate beautiful art. You appreciate, like, you show appreciation for beauty. And another aspect of that was like you take care of yourself. You actually put effort into the way that you look, and that's where it's like it doesn't necessarily matter like your physical qualities. You just take care of yourself, right? That's part of beauty, I guess you want to call it. Well, you know, like a girl would think of like a beauty routine or something. Virgo traits, self-care and wellness. So that's why I find that very attractive, because that's why I make so many self-care videos and wellness videos, and you guys comment on them and you message me and you're like, these are like so inspiring, they like make me feel good. It's because you're getting the same feeling that when I'm creating these across, because it's truly in alignment with my soul and who I am. I love self-care. I love taking care of myself, my body, my mind. I love pampering myself and just feeling good. That's self-love for me. But anyway, you have to feel worthy enough to have that partner. Because if you don't feel worthy enough to leave the fucking toxic relationship, if you don't feel that you deserve better, you will not get better. I've seen it so many times. Oh my God. Legit, guys, I was chopping this bitch up and a spider just crawled out of it. When they're talking organic, they fucking mean they picked it from the goddamn field. So when I actually figured out in therapy my needs, so you make a list, and it wasn't in therapy, it was actually my spiritual teacher was like, okay, make a list of your needs, your wants, or your desires, and your non-negotiables. You have to establish boundaries, essentially, and not a lot of people know their own boundaries until they actually start dating. And I think that's why the dating scene or era is very important, and to be conscious of it, to see what you like and what you don't like, because you never truly know until you experience it, until you embody it. Once I had enough experience to actually know, I'm gonna wash this. Once I had enough experience, I could then know what I wanted. I hate to say it like this, but where I want a partner to basically yoke me in life, okay, meaning match me for my enthusiasm, match me for my desire to create in life and to do better and to evolve on the same kind of vibrational plane, in the sense of we have similar goals and we have similar values. There's nothing wrong with partners that don't have similar goals and similar values. They can support one another in different ways, but it's truly important to me to be working towards the same goal, because in my previous relationship we weren't, and it just wasn't working. It wasn't working. There was no goals that the other person had, right? So it was like there was no support. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is you have to realize what's important to you in a relationship, what isn't important to you, your non-negotiables, and just see if other people can meet you of where you need them to meet you. And I hate to say like need or desire or want, because the spiritual community, which I hate this, will say be complete with yourself, and you see me say it all the time too. Be complete with yourself, then your ideal partner will come. Yes, I agree 100% to an aspect. You should be complete as much as you can with yourself. You will never be fully done evolving. You will never be fully complete. Complete meaning you as much as in alignment with yourself as you can be in the moment. You are experiencing as much love as you can in the moment. You're experiencing as much God in your life as you can in the moment. And that's when you attract your ideal partner. But you have to be conscious of how relationships work too, because you are going to evolve and change. The other person is going to evolve and change. You have got to communicate your needs, wants, and desires, both of you. And you have to be willing to give each other what you need, because not every day is going to be the same. Life is going to life, 100%, right? So for example, if your partner loses their job and say they were the provider, the breadwinner, whatever, you're gonna have to step the fuck up and pay the bills for it, right? The best way that my spiritual teacher had said it was like, some days maybe your partner can only give 20% and you step up and you give that 80%, and it's vice versa. Some days they can provide that energy, some days they can't. But you have to be okay with your external world, no matter what is going on, to be able to give yourself what you need when your external world is not doing that for you. The state of being has to be created within you, and then your external world will reflect it, right? You are just an adaptable human pretty much. And you're not blaming or expecting somebody else to give you what you can't give yourself. And that is the biggest takeaway I want you to take from that being whole and complete within yourself, is not expecting anybody to give you anything that you need, right? But it's not to say that people can't help us, give us what we need, right? They can be tools, they can be teachers of us. We can evolve one another in a very constructive, healthy way. I feel like, especially if both partners are conscious of what one another needs, how energy truly works, and if they're both working towards something, and it doesn't even really have to be the same goal. I desire it to be kind of very similar in vibration, or they're creating something very meaningful in life for themselves and building a life together at the same time. If we're not willing to give the other person what they need and we've communicated it, then they're not our person. If you're not willing to give somebody what they need, and if they're not willing to give you what you need, and you've communicated it, that in itself is sign for you enough, is if they cross that boundary, because it is a boundary that you set. It's not necessarily to say that you don't mean anything to them or that they don't love you. It's that emotionally they don't have the capacity to meet you and give you what you need, right? And it's okay to need things out of a relationship. This is where people are tools, like I had said. We can evolve with one another in a relationship, and this is what really I feel like divine partnership should be doing, is evolving one another in a constructive, healthy way, not in a trauma bond way where you're triggering one another, and hopefully you're recognizing the patterns to help you evolve together, rather than not recognizing the patterns, or if you do, one person does, one person doesn't, but then parting and then hopefully doing the healing work to then recognize the patterns. So that's how people are tools for one another and can be the most awakening, transformative thing in somebody's reality, because we identify ourselves with people. Essentially we become one, especially those closest to us, right? So anyway, long story short, whether you're confused on if you should stay in a relationship, confused on who your ideal partner is, it's all boiling down to self-worth, self-love, and what you want to create in your life. The biggest piece of advice I could give you is get clear on your own boundaries, because the worthiness that you feel in yourself and the knowingness of what you want to create in your life will attract who you will create with or who will be your partner, right? It's your energy that will attract the partner. And staying and forcing yourself to stay in toxic relationships, that's a whole nother thing in itself. And I'm very good at that as well too. Played the cat mouse game. I've played the love triangle game unwillingly, didn't know. And I've been that somebody's beck and call girl, hoping that one day that they would commit to me, but I would always be there for them. The avoidant of, it would be a friends with benefits type of thing, and then they disappear for a bit and then come back and then disappear and then come back. That is so fucking toxic. Anyway, drop in the comments below what video or what information on relationships would you guys like to see next, what would help you the most, because I can guarantee you I've been through it. Anyway, that's enough. One more thing. I was cleaning and I got a download. Of course I did. The most, I'm gonna say dangerous, but riskiness, I guess you want to say, of relationships and falling in love. Yes, it is that people are afraid to feel. Guys, subconsciously we know we're gonna lose everything in this life. Eventually we will. And that includes the people that you love, right? So there is a wall that we subconsciously put up some of the time, or a lot of the time, based on trauma, because grief is probably one of the hardest emotions to process. Now, I talked about in relationships being complete with yourself as much as you can be, and honestly guys, you're never not going to be, I say, fully complete until you return to source, right? So we're always going to be ever evolving, and a human can only experience so much love that it has known, right? That it has physically allowed itself to experience. And other people are going to basically evolve us or elevate us in love. They were going to add value to us. So that's what you want to look for in other partners or relationships, is adding value. Therefore it elevates your energy, and therefore it elevates you to new heightened states of love, energy, whatever that you didn't even know were possible. These feelings that you did not even know were possible, this other person allowed you to feel because they were a channel for it for you. Your energy intermixed with theirs allowed this experience to happen for you. So now you know love to a heightened level, right? Than what you knew before on your own. And this is where somebody can help you evolve, right? But eventually when that person goes away, whether it be something happens in the relationship, we part ways, spirit says time to leave, something happens to that other person, they pass on, whatever. Now it is up to you to recreate, maintain, or be that energy that they were either providing or had shown you. They were bringing forth really this energy out of you. They weren't really providing anything. They were just showing you what already existed within you, right? So now you have to figure out, or if you haven't already, like, established it in your being to just be that energy, but recreate that for yourself, right? To be that energy without that other person. And that is a master of your internal reality, right? Being in control of us, no matter what happens in our external world. And I think this is where ultimately, when people go through the most devastating, love losses and griefs or things like that, they're identifying that energy with that other person, but it was something that that other person was allowing you to bring out of yourself. So that's where you have to go back within. And I know a lot of you roll your eyes, but to heal this, you have to literally go back within and ultimately return to God. You have to turn to God to get that same energy, and that is where everything you need is within you, because God is you. God is in this body. God is your consciousness. God is your heart. God is your emotions. God is your thoughts. It's literally everything. So you have to go back within and return home. So anyway, I hope that made sense to you guys, but I really thought that this should be said while it's fresh, while I got the download, because I'm gonna forget it tomorrow.